Well, today it's the beginning of March and it's time to have a look over my houseplants, or just some of my houseplants. And there's always winners and there's always losers here. This, I think, is a winner. This is a bougainvillea and it's flowering beautifully with those tissue-like, oh, one just fell off there. But I can see down here we've got a few problems. I'm going to pull these plants out and show you what I do to try and revive them or get rid of any disease or insect problem. And I see something going on there. So I've put a plastic sheet on my table and we'll investigate. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to clean up some of the soil around here. I'm going to pick off some of the leaves. I'm going to cut off a couple of these nice stems here. And these plants take cuttings very easily. I just tear off the lower leaves, just a couple of them. And I'm going to just stick them in some water. And usually about 4 weeks they will develop long white roots. I'll leave them there. I'm going to put a few more in there. So what to do now? Well, there's lots of brown dead leaves here. I'm just going to take these off. The reason I take some of the leaves off with holes is you want to make sure that you've actually corrected the problem. Now that looks pretty brutal, but I want to see new growth develop. All of this stuff I'm going to throw away. If you've got insect infestation, you don't want to spread it to other things. So the second thing I do is to actually clean up some of the soil. And I'm going to see if I can get the whole root ball out. I'm looking at the roots. They actually look not bad at all. There's lots of white sort of furry bits, that's the root hairs. What I am going to do, though, is take the top part of the soil out. There could be insects in there. They could have laid eggs in there, so I'm going to remove probably about 1 inch, 2 inches. Now what I'm going to do is just top up with some compost. Make sure you get all the lumps out. And I'm going to top it up. I'm going to use a slow-release fertilizer. So I'm putting about a tablespoon of this Osmocote type slow-release fertilizer. Doesn't burn the plant. I mix it in the top part of the soil, and then I'm going to give it a good water. Now, there's still insects on here. So I'm actually going to spray it with neem oil. There are lots of sprays you can use. This is another one I've got. Does mites, it does aphids and whatever. It's got a whole lot of sort of organic, cottonseed oil, clove oil, garlic oil. And inside, it's probably a wise thing to use something more organic, less toxic. And I'm going to get a fine mist, tighten it up a bit. Here we go. And I'm going to do a little bit of a soil as well, even though it's fresh soil. I'm going to do both sides of the leaves. I didn't bother spraying before because I cut a lot of it out. So now I've left all of this. It'll be very easy to see if a plant is going to recover. Just watch the sunlight. Now these they can actually do a little bit of shade. They don't like direct light on them. So we put them in somewhere that could be bright, anywhere from bright to low light. They seem to do quite well. Plant number 2, though, is even worse. This is a peace lily, all right, and not a very happy one. Now, peace lilies love to grow in constant temperatures. 68 degrees, 70 degrees would be fine, night and day. But the problem in the house is that we may be 60 degrees, 68 degrees during the daytime or in the evening. Then at night time, the heating goes off, the temperature plummets, especially if you've got it by a window. Windows can get very, very cold, and the cold air can run down it. And before you know it, you've got the leaves browning. Sometimes too much moisture will cause the same. Now, we've been trying to recuperate this one, and the new leaves do look better. And the roots down the bottom there look okay again. I will really have no problem with that. If they look white and lots of furry root hairs on it, then that's a great sign. I'm not seeing any insect infestation. All right, to emergency plant clinic we go. The soil looks quite dark, so I'm going to make sure there's no waterlog going on. Ooh, wait a minute. This is really wet at the bottom. The roots, I don't know if you can see, look a bit too brown. So they're not quite as white and as nice. So that may be one of the reasons. Maybe this is not draining quite as well. So I'm going to make sure the drainage hole, which is right there, it's in the saucer, and it looks like it's clear now. Oh, no, the leaves do have a little bit of, It looks like that sort of small little aphid-like, or it could be the young part of scale. Now, scale insects stick in place. They're permanently placed on the stems or on leaves. But when they're young, they're actually quite mobile. So this actually could be the first stage of that. And of course, it's going to need an absolute spray. And I'm going to have to keep an eye on that. And once a week, I'm going to spray this till we're absolutely sure we got rid of those. Now, these pothos are incredible plants. They will actually grow in all kinds of conditions. They are extremely good at cleaning the air inside a house. So we like to look after them. Give it a little bit of a haircut. I'm looking for those nice new shoots that will root out easily, I hope. I'm just going to strip some of those lower leaves off, put it in the water. Some of these root incredibly easy, some take a bit longer. So I'm checking through the stems, I'm going down, looking if there's any nasty. I think this plant is healthy enough to recover quite well. Could almost be ready to divide this one, but I think I'll leave it till we get it outside. But right in there in that tangle, there's all kinds of brown leaves. And more on this side. I'm just throwing them out to the side. And I promised my wife I will clean up afterwards. Won't we, Lily? We can get several months inside now where the growing conditions will improve. The plant will start growing quickly, but you can't put them outside because there's a frost danger, and all these tropical plants will be wiped out. But come the end of May, a lot of these plants go outside on our deck. So there you go, some tips I do to revive my plants from a long, grueling winter, to give them that boost so in spring they bounce back with vigor.
We'll have more with Paul and his houseplants when Home and Backyard continues.
I came to inspect this hibiscus. This is one of the tropical hibiscus, and I thought this is worth its own little segment because this insect, it can be a real pain. I don't know if you can see, there's a flower bud there, and there's this fine spidery webbing. It's not a spider, it's a spider mite. And they will feed on the leaf and gradually cause the plant to deteriorate. I think spraying with water, with keeping it more moist, actually can dissuade them from making there, but that really is quite a sign. So two-spotted spider mites can be a real pain, especially ivies and things like that inside. So I've got to do something about this. If it's only in one location, you could just cut that off and throw it in the garbage. It's so small, you really need a little microscope or the light in the right direction to spot it. I spotted it. All right, you're gone, mate.